Hello, my name's Rosie. Thank you for listening to this story, which is my story about how I came to be a hospice user. I've suffered from many long-term conditions and been a bit of a medical challenge all my life, with heart condition, Ehlers-Danlos loss, lung fibrosis, chronic brittle asthma, to name but a few. But I've always managed them and managed a very good full-time career working for the NHS. However, I had to retire early in 2012 due to my health becoming too big to manage in the workplace setting. My partner decided to retire a little early in 2018 so that we could enjoy many long holidays in Italy and do the things that we really loved doing. So we looked forward to that. She retired in October, and on Christmas Day 2018 I had a massive heart attack. And it took 8 hours to get an ambulance to me and then another 4 hours in A&E to get the treatment that I needed. By that time it was too late to do anything, I was told. The thrombolysing drugs wouldn't have done any good. And after all the tests and scans, echocardiograms, angiograms, it was discovered that I had a total death of the left ventricle, and my ejection fraction was only 30%, which means actually it was really struggling. There was nothing they could do for me. So I asked the surgeon, well, where do we go from here? And the cardiac surgeon said, well, you would normally get about 4 years of life after such an event, unless you have a heart and lung transplant. And I said, great, when can I have the heart and lung transplant? But he said, you're over 60, so we don't do it. I was 62 at the time. So that felt like somebody just pulled the plug on me and said, that's it, nothing more can be done. And I went into quite a deep, reactive depression. I just felt like, what's the point of struggling and trying to go on when I know that there's an end coming sometime and all the things I love, I cannot do. So I was spending a lot of time sitting in our garden room, looking at the garden, not moving a lot from my chair because I felt so ill all the time, short of breath, etc. And a friend who works at the hospice as volunteer manager, Margaret Brabbin, had said to another friend of ours, well, Rosie should try the hospice. And I just thought, well, no, that's not for me. And then my GP suggested, why not try the hospice? So I came for a consultation and assessment, and the young doctor who saw me looked at my 4 huge files of medical notes. It was like War and Peace, and he said, I'm sure we can help, because I wasn't really convinced at all. For me, a hospice was somewhere where people with probably cancer came to in their last couple of days of life. But anyway, I thought, well, I'll give it a go. So I did, and as soon as I walked through the door, it was like the building enveloped me with these huge, warm, safe, welcoming arms. And I could feel a weight lifted from me, as if I was in a good, safe space, and I could rely on the people around me to try and find the old Rosie. The old Rosie had been a bit of a tigger, really. I was working and doing a PhD, and I was a writer, so I was writing lots of things, and all that had just slipped away from me when I began to feel quite depressed about life. But Lee Valance, the CEO, who knew me because I was a hospital governor in Bolton, had said, well, let's do something about that, I'm sure we can use that. So I then offered some training sessions for the hospice staff on LGBT equality issues, because I used to be a trainer and I worked for the Disability Rights Commission years ago. And that felt so good to be able to offer my skills. I felt like I'd just come back to life, like actually there are sparks of the old Rosie there. Tigger might not be able to bounce about all the time, but I do have little bounces left in me, which was wonderful. So I did that, and I came for lots of weekly sessions. I had 2 quite serious collapses while I was here, so I ended up as an inpatient twice, and I can honestly say that the caring and the vigilance of the staff went beyond any pay packet they will ever get. They were so kind and compassionate. Each person meant such a lot to them. They really wanted to help you to find a life, not to be limited by this life-limiting condition, but to find whatever you had within you, to be able to really enjoy something, to see the light in each day. And for me, seeing the light is crucial, because I'm a Quaker, and that's what we look towards, the light. We try to move away from the dark and move towards the light. I'm once again an inpatient. I'm struggling, my heart has got a lot weaker. And of course those events were 3 years ago, so my health generally is very poor at the moment. But again, the hospice have stepped up to the mark. The consultant, Jenny Klimiuk, has been more than helpful. She's just been wonderful at being there for me. And the staff as well. All just can't do enough for me. So this place is crucial. This place is crucial to people like me with life-limiting conditions, people with only a few days left to live, to the families, to the carers, to friends, because people want to see you enjoy every little bit of life that you've got. But in order to run a place like this, of course, it costs a huge amount of money. So really, I hope that everybody will come together and support this invaluable resource, because it's a resource, and just see it as a gem, a real gem, that we can do everything we possibly can to make sure that it helps people like me. So thank you. Thank you for whatever you can take from my few words, and thank you for whatever you give to the hospice.